Assalamualaikum. Today we will explain about the translations of page 348 until 359. Here is our member groups.
Today, I will summarize the overall content found on page 348 to 350. This page discusses about the evolution of society. The first point is Spencer views society as a living organism that grows and becomes more complex over time. Studying society is not straightforward. At first, one may feel confident, but this confidence often gives way to realization of how little we truly know. According to Spencer, understanding society requires time, patience, and humility. One must carefully observe the connections between different parts of society, see how they integrate and differentiate, and accept that true knowledge of social life is a gradual process. After that, Spencer saw society as an organic organism where all parts interconnect and work together. As society grows, it becomes more complex and its different parts gain greater independence. He explained that social evolution involves both integration, where parts cooperate to form a unified whole, and differentiation, where diversity and specialization emerge. Understanding this dynamic helps us see how society developed and changed over time. According to Spencer, early religion evolved from polytheism to monotheism and later branched into multiple doctrine. Initially, religion focused on the afterlife and guiding moral behavior, while worldly life was considered less important. Over time, as human society developed, especially with industry growth, people began to engage more with worldly life. This illustrates Spencer's view that religion adapts alongside social and economic change, reflecting the evolving needs and priorities of human life. After that, according to Spencer, industrial development is a key to human progress. It promotes equality, peace, and distribute power more fairly across society. Innovation challenges traditional hereditary system and limit the absolute power of government. Spencer also believed that industrialization transformed patriotism into a positive love for one's country rather than hatred for others. Furthermore, industry growth reduced trade barriers and helped foster global peace.
Now, let's move to the page 351. This page starts with women's liberations. Edward said, emphasize that the liberation of women is not just an ideal, it is something that will eventually be realized. When society focuses on education and science, women can equal opportunity to develop their minds and skill. This is not only about justice, but also about advancing scientific thinking on society. Industry draws its life from science. As a result, humans develop scientific reasoning and the ability to understand cause and effect. People will no longer rely on supernatural forces or demons to explain life events. History itself will change. Its pages will celebrate productive humans instead of warrior kings. Work is no longer an end in itself. Life uses work as a tool to achieve happiness. And now we move to the evolution of morality. Spencer and his followers claim that morality, like everything else, is subject to the laws of evolution and natural selection. But many scholars, including Huxley, argue that life science cannot serve as moral guidance. Moral principles that benefit humans are thus aligned with life and society. We move to the page of 352. According to Spencer, moral principles are subject to natural selections. Only those morals that withstand harsh trials survive, while others disappear. Because society and individuals change over time and place, the definitions of good varies widely among people. Spencer also provides a measure for morality, like pleasure and pain. If an action brings inner satisfactions, it indicates that it is suitable for life. Moral principles change with the environment. For example, in the Middle Age, honor was reserved for warriors, while workers in agriculture or industry were considered inferior. With industrializations, work became morally valued and respected. To the page of 353. This page tells about with the rise of industry, work became the noblest human activity because it supports society. Work can only grow under justice, and justice thrives in the freedoms. Spencer defines justice as the freedom to act as one wishes, provided it does not infringe upon the rights of others. Without justice and freedom, industry and innovation cannot succeed. Spencer also emphasized two fundamental human rights like life and liberty. The form of government is secondary, whether monarchy or democracy. What matters is that people enjoy life and freedom. He is skeptical about humans' political rights. considering them an illusion with little practical benefit. He also feared that women's altruistic instinct might interfere with natural selections, potentially strengthening the weak instead of allowing society to maintain its strongest members. Finally, Spencer proposed that the highest moral ideal is a balance between selfishness and altruism. Altruism is not about denying oneself, rather it nourishes and supports selfishness. This balance ensures survival and prosperity, aligning human behavior with the natural demands of life and society.
Okay, for this slide, I want to talk about Spencer. Spencer say human cannot know everything. I agree human have limit. But saying something cannot be known at all is not correct. If we say we cannot know something, it means we already know a little about it. Spencer also talk about evolution. We say evolution move from simple to complex. But complex does not always mean better. For example, Gothic building are more complex. For Greek building are still very valuable. Now, I move to the next point. Spencer does not talk much about neutral solution, but neutral solution is very important in evolution. History is about struggle and survival. Only the strongest can survive. Spencer also choose example that support his idea. He ignores example that disagree. This is different from Darwin. Darwin writing on example even the weak one. Spencer say industrial countries are peaceful, but today industrial countries are very strong in war. So this idea is questionable.
Today I'm going to talk a bit about Herbert Spencer, one of the most important English philosophers in the 19th century. He became really well known because of his book called First Principles. The book was translated into many European languages even though it openly criticized government power and control. What is interesting is that his ideas didn't only influence philosophy but also literature and art. Even though Spencer was famous and received a lot of gifts and invitations, including from royalty and famous scholars, he actually didn't like public attention. He preferred spending time with close friends. He believed that his writing showed his best thinking, when normal conversation couldn't really reflect deep ideas properly. In 1903, Spencer was visited by Sheikh Muhammad Abdul in Bridgeton. Even though he was already old and advised not to talk much, he still enjoyed discussing religion and morals. During the conversation, Spencer shared his concern that English society was declining morally because of the materialism, where power and money matter more than what is right. Near the end of his life, he regretted focusing too much on fame instead of living a simple and happy life. Still, despite criticism, his idea continued to influence others. Overall, Herbert Spencer was successfully connected philosophy with real life, and even though he was not fully recognized during his lifetime, his legacy remains important today.
That's from us. Thank you.